Bitcoin played out exactly like I talked about in the previous video. 40k support held and we hit the 48,800 level exactly, and it only took 3 days. In this video I'll share with you what I think can happen next. When I posted the previous one, everyone was depressed. We're going lower! The comments were mostly that I'm an idiot, that I don't know technical analysis, that I don't understand how Evergrande will collapse everything, but that they know that we're going lower. Well, it turns out they didn't know. Evergrande hasn't collapsed yet. Technical analysis with support and resistance worked once again. And if I can give you 20% moves in 3 days with protected downside, then that's exactly the kind of idiot I want to continue being for you. In fact, I'm excited if I'm seeing that I'm on the opposite side of everyone else. The markets were literally created to move money from the many to the few. If you find yourself on the side of the majority, everyone will call you a genius, but that's actually when you should be worried. That might be the time to switch side. The desired state is that the majority of people are calling you names. So here is a message for my haters. At the top, you will be euphoric. The last thing you want to hear is someone talking about selling. I'm trying to be the last thing you want to hear. And at the bottom, you will be depressed. And the last thing you want to hear is someone talking about buying. I'm trying to be the last thing you want to hear. And keep in mind that you're probably also using mobile data when you're writing that I don't know anything. So thank you for using my tech. So what happened here was that we had this head and shoulders top formation with neckline at about 44,000. Target would be somewhere down here at maybe 37,000. But then 40,000, which was this incredibly powerful support resistance level going all the way back here, held. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days with price touching this 40k support. That's a lot. Clearly there was a battle of the whales here going on, and there was no way of knowing which side was going to win if you don't know how much funds they have. That was the game. If we close below, then we cut it, taking maybe a 5% loss. And if it doesn't close below, well, then we go up. And we did. We went up and we reached exactly this 48,800 level, which was this wick here that I talked about last week. So then you either had an option of closing here and pocketing a nice 20% profit in 3 days, or you move up those stop losses. Instead of being below 40k, where you would cut them with a maybe 5% loss, you now have a much nicer situation, where you could move them up above 40k instead. Then you are both guaranteed a profit, and you have a chance on the upside in case it continues. That's exactly what good trade execution looks like, and I'm delighted that you could watch this play out in real time and follow along if you wanted to. Before we look at where we could move that stop loss to, let's take a moment to reflect on how I could do this move. How could I avoid being shaken out despite all the FUD and instead get an entry at 40k? Am I a genius? No. Oh, well, yes. But that's not why. I could do this because I had a process, and my process drives my execution. Not my gut, not what big accounts say on Twitter, my process, my large online indicator, my tools. That's why I could do this. I keep saying this, guys. Get tools and the process if you're going to be in this market. I'm using my process and large online indicator, and you can get them too at ctolarsson.com. But if you don't like it, get somebody else's then. But you got to have a process. Now you've just seen it, how valuable it can be. And it's not a fluke this just one time. I've literally published a 6 years history here on my website, with half of it being forward testing. Now it worked again. It doesn't work every time, but it works on average, and of course past results are not guaranteed for the future, but it is what I use, and I will continue to. ctolarsson.com, start driving your own ship, don't rely on others. So where would I move the stop loss to? To 47,000? No, I wouldn't. You can see very clearly here how we're hitting this resistance. I moved the line to 48,300 to better reflect the body of the candles. And even if we are going to continue, there might be a retracement now. Think like this instead. Assume you are the whale who can drive this market. And if you know that you will drive the price much higher together with your buddies, you'd probably want to fake it in the other direction first, so that you have more Bitcoin, when you run it up, right? Then look at the chart. Where would you drive the price down to in order to liquidate as many leveraged longers as possible and get as many spot holders as possible to sell to you before you drive it up again? Well, the obvious level would be this 40k support, right? As I talked about in the previous video, it's pretty obvious, right? And it might even fake me out. Then I'd have to buy back higher. But there is one problem for you with that plan, if you are that whale. It would cost a lot. You've already seen that level holding 6 times, so there are clearly some mighty buyers there. It might be super expensive for you to actually close the price below 40k, and you might not even be sure you can do it. And if you try and fail, you just spend money and the 40k would feel even more confident than ever, and no one would sell. A cheaper, smaller move, which might create a good chunk of the same damage, would be to drive price below this 44k level, which was this neckline from the Head and Shoulders, down to this 43k range perhaps, or somewhere there, and then run it back up. What will I do if that happens? Well, I might buy again, because now Lars Online is back to being gold. Look here. So it might make more sense to set your exit below that 43k level, perhaps at 41k, if you want to be sure to close this in profit, even if things go bad from here. I'm CTO Larsson, please like, subscribe, and see you in this video next. Hej då!